Good evening, everyone.
Off to Button Moon, we follow Mr. Spoon. And hit the street.
Hey, you!
Get moving, it's not too far. You're looking good, come as you are.
Hey, you!
With a door. Windows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready to play? What's the day?
Wee Man and the Masters of the Looniverse.
I've got friends.
It's a real crazy show where anything will go.
But the other day, I went down to Cornwall to have a go at catamaraning, and this is how it turned out.
We all know how it turned out, but welcome, everyone. Unfortunately, Tony can't join me tonight. He had a prior engagement, and we had a date mix-up. But you got me for now. Let's see. Hello, friends. I need your help tonight, everyone. It's a puppet, indeed. Brian Conley. Where's he now? Good evening, Adrian. I've never seen an episode of Metal Mickey. Am I missing much? I'd probably say no. I loved it as a child, but I don't think it probably aged very well. Or if Michael Myers puts it, no. I don't think so, yes. If you watched it 5 minutes on YouTube, that'll probably do you get the gist of it. Going to get my dummy blanket, dummy and blanket to rest fully to child. Yes, you are one of the young ones, aren't you, Ian? Too young to remember all these shows that we're going to talk about tonight. Puppet shows, puppets. We did do 5-star chickens. Indeed. What the hell is Wee Man? Yes, I keep forgetting. What is this? Was it Round the Bend, wasn't it? I think it was on. It was a piss take. Schofield, yes. Isn't he making a comeback on Channel 5, I heard? Hello, Jordan. Nice for you, everyone, to be here. Fraggle Rock and Terrorhawks. Yes, we'll talk about Terrorhawks. Not Fraggle Rock, because that is American. We're going to do British tonight. I thought Brian Conley was still on the telly, but wasn't sure. Oh, it was Wordy's 50th yesterday. Bloody hell. Oh, there's a young lad, a whippersnapper. Ben from last night's Fall Guy. Yeah, good. Children. Oh, Matt Bianco. Oh, was there anyone good in the 80s? Ah, there we go. There we go. Some weird castaway ship. I didn't know what the series was about. I just saw someone told me through the grapevine. But where are we? Let me just close some of these browsers so it doesn't mess up. But what should we talk about first? So yes, apologies for I should have checked earlier with Tony to see whether he could appear. So we've got the list here. And I'll share my screen, bring it up a bit. So we've covered, what was it? Live action. We've got next time. It's going to be, what you call it? Animation, British animation. So you got Postman Pat. You got your. I'm trying to think. Every time I look at these, I get blindsided because I can't remember which is animated, like Poddington Peas. But Pob. We'll start with Pob. I think he's a puppet. There are so many classics here. Yes, indeed. Oh, I've missed some things. Sorry, it was the 24th. Oh, never mind. It's close enough, wasn't it? Yeah, has a Channel 5 comeback work for anyone? I guess it works for the people that come back because they do get a bit of cash. But yeah, apart for the audience, probably not so much. They weren't asking for this. I do see, who is it? John Barrett, no. John, no. Michael Barrymore. He seems to be on TikTok, I think, because I post my video shop things on there. Jordan says, a 1980s British puppet show I remember: Rainbow, Sooty Show, Bodger and Badger. I did not know Bodger and Badger is on the list tonight. I did not know it went back to the 80s. I thought that was more late 90s. So many classics, yes. A lot of old men crying into their cups of Ovaltine tonight. The guy who called 5-star rude names and going live upload the full phone call of YouTube a few backs. It's so autumn, it's beautiful. Bless. Let me just check. So I got a message here. I do have to respond to, so you'll have to see if it works. Right. I did think of that after this. A Nightmare special would be good. Maybe we could get the Nightmare Man himself on. If anyone knows his name, put it in the chat so I can look him up again. God, I love Pop. Total anarchist. Yeah. Trouble is, I don't know what videos I can show or what I can play at this. Otherwise, this whole show goes down south very quickly. So it was number 60 on the 100 Greatest Kids shows. Back, that was 23 years ago. I did not know about the silent teddy bear called Teddy. But, so it had Nigel Kennedy on the show playing violin. Dick King Smith, I guess is he the one that did, Babe? Or am I thinking of someone else? But he had Brian Blessed, of course, Hannah Gordon, Roy Castle, Nigel Hayes. Is this the same Pob I'm thinking of? Is this the drawing one? Or is this something else? A puppet named Pob. It is a puppet named Pob. Oh, yeah. Tracing his name in condensation. But there you go. Oh, Pob was a bunch of... That's the level I'm at. I hated Pob. I might have been too old for Pob. But I actually loved Pob, but I think only a child understands Pob. If you're a bit older, I can imagine you hating Pob. There you go. That sounds about right. Exhibit A. The Phil Schofield show will get good ratings, I bet. I bet some of them are going to be there. Metal Mickey was directed by Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. Yes, the Monkees. I know Mickey. The short one, the English one, he did a lot of TV acting. I know he's in episodes of Sledgehammer and other stuff I saw him in the 80s. And yeah, Mickey Dolenz directed, and was it Nesbitt did a lot of producing. I think he produced a few TV shows. But yeah, I seem to remember Mickey Dolenz, his name coming up. Hey, Double A, you beautiful bastard. Thank you very much. Mike's here. Good evening. Nothing on Channel 5 gets good ratings. Yeah, I don't think it ever has it? Hugo Mayat. Hang on, who's that? Is that something I missed earlier? Because I'm so behind as usual. If in my program you would be wind the wool and follow me, follow the wool is led first, then yeah, the yellow is then the red. Guess you have to be there. Oh, I saw Brian Connor recently on a car podcast, fooling around, where he talked about his car collection and love of his driving. I can't remember how cancelled he is because of all the stuff he's involved in or allegedly involved in. Roy fucking Castle's coming on. Hell no. Nigel Kennedy was everywhere in the late 80s, early 90s. Well, I wonder what happened to him. I'm guessing he's probably still fiddling, as it's called. I'm always astounded Brian Blessed is still alive. That's definitely a Mandela effect where he is dead. Yes, he's hanging in there. I think he must be 80s, 90s himself. He did turn me down for an interview, so we'll not discuss him. Gordon the Gopher fly into an island. this is supposed to be a family show. We're all about old TV shows like Pob. Wouldn't be surprised if he died of an overdose because he always looked wasted. Yeah, Nigel Kennedy did. Was he the young upstart of the orchestra, wasn't he? Nigel Kennedy's alive. Well, on telly this past week. You see, that's the trouble when I don't watch telly. Kiana says, "Whoa." Going to go for sipping martinis on a beach. Already just waiting on Phil. It would not surprise me if they didn't do something like that just to get people to watch. Because who's sad enough to bring on special guests onto their TV show? But this is about puppets. So as Tony let me down, I know someone that wouldn't. So bringing to the stage, Ronnie Ledrew.
Hello. Can
Hello,
you hear me okay?
I can hear you wonderfully, so that's important.
Excellent. Good. Apologies. I was doing a show today at the Little Angel Theatre and we overran slightly. And of course, out of my head, I totally forgot that I'd promised you. And thank you for your quick reminder because I managed to switch everything on and
No worries.
get on to you.
Great to have you.
Lovely. Thank you.
So yes, we were talking about Channel 5 for some reason. But yes, welcome, Ronnie.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will, for those that still haven't bought your book, The Naughty People.
Yes, they're very naughty people. I've got my copy.
I will put the link in the chat to remind them.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Well, you're too kind for doing this. Because we were, where did we get to? We were on our first of the list. And I've lost him already. There he is. Pob. Do you remember the TV show Pob's program?
Yes. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Yes, I do. Because I think that's Pob now. Pob was originally built, I think, by a puppeteer called John Blundell a long time ago. Then it was taken up. Oh, there we are. Lovely pictures. That's right. John designed and made that figure. And then it was worked by a puppeteer called Robin Stevens. And you've probably got all this information there, actually. But he did it. And it was I think it was an Anna, forgotten her name, who was the producer. She thought this was a lovely idea. And I do remember it started off at the very beginning with him sort of breathing onto it like a sheet of glass. And he sort of wrote his name on it, I remember. But yes. I can't remember the context of the whole program, but I just remember some of the visual things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it seems to have this weird having a rave background there, and
yeah.
But everyone's pleased to see you. It seems.
Oh, thank you. Well, I feel I can see you all watching, so that's lovely.
Oh, Ian's bought your book since
you
were last on,
Ian.
and read it.
Oh, and you've read it too. Oh my goodness, thank you.
It's a wonderful read. Yeah, Ben says hello.
Good evening, lovely. Thank you. Good evening.
It's recommended.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Zippy's back.
Yeah, Zippy's back. Thank you, Jordan.
Oh yeah, it's also available from real bookstores.
Yes, like Blackwell's. Yes, I think you'll probably get more copies from there rather than Amazon and the other one, eBay, because they it hasn't shown up. I need to email them. Oh right, okay, Ian. Oh dear, sorry, it's me saying that.
Well, that's rambling, yeah. What a legend.
Good luck, anyway. Thank you. It's lovely being a legend.
It is.
Thank you, Mr. Real Fifth Beat. I love the names of people. It's wonderful. Michael Myers. I want to do a Zippy impression. You can. You're allowed.
It's not copyrighted, is it?
No.
Ah, there you go. Anne Wood. She went on to do the Teletubby.
That's it. Anne Wood. That was the person I was trying to remember. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We never discussed this. What did you ever think of Bobby Davro's impression?
I thought he was hilarious, actually, because he came onto the program, Rainbow itself, actually, as a guest. I think he read a couple of stories, and of course he did wonderful impressions of Zippy and George. Even on the program, it was hilarious. So no, it was excellent. It was excellent. No, he's lovely. He's lovely.
Nice. Right. So that was Pob, which ran for only 82 episodes.
Oh, right. Gosh.
I didn't know it was 25 minutes. I thought it was like a 5-minute program as well.
Do you know, I thought it was a short one too. I didn't realise. Gosh.
But what's next on the list? The Sooty Show. Now,
Ah.
who knows the Sooty Show? Hands up.
No, I mean, it was an absolute delight. I was so lucky to be asked to be involved in it. You know, my connection basically was through Matthew Corbett, because he was a singer on the Rainbow and the sort of early 70s, and Harry was, had moved over from the BBC to ITV, and so he was working at Thames Telly, and sadly he had this rather serious heart attack, and Matthew was going to continue as a singer, and it was Jane, Rod and Matthew at one stage. Anyway, Matthew, being loyal to the family, decided that he would take over the Sooty presentation, and that meant that there was a puppeteer needed, because he'd been doing Sweep for a while previous to that, and so because he knew I was puppeteer, he contacted me and said, "Oh, Ronnie, what you're doing in the summer?" I said, "Oh, I'm having a rest." And he said, "No, you're not. You're working in the Sooty Show." So, I mean, that was it. So I think I did about 3 series. I can't remember. The same producer that produced Rainbow also produced Sooty, Charles Warren, his name was. And he decided that I should have a break, like everybody else does, in between the Rainbow series. So he sort of said, "Look, I think, I'm sure they'll find somebody else." But I was loving it, because it was a totally different type of puppetry. And I loved doing the location filming. We did something like 2 weeks, before the series started, out filming all over Dorset. We did I remember the one year I did, and that was lovely, sort of swimming in swimming pools. I mean, the little puppets swimming around, it was hilarious. And yes. And you'd get Sweep, and it was just his legs on a diving board, and you do it with your fingers in here, and then he'd sort of dive, then you'd cut, and you'd see a bit of the glove puppet diving in, and all that sort of lovely stuff. But we did rock climbing. Oh gosh, I can't remember. We did road works or something. We were digging up the road, daft, wonderful things. And it was a joy to work with Harry, because of course I've grown up watching Harry Corbett, with the original sort of Sooty shows on the BBC. So it was, he was lovely, and he's such a sweet man. He really was. Very, very different from Matthew. He was the sort of quieter version. His mum Marjorie was more like Matthew. I think Matthew took, was more like Marjorie, and Matthew's got an older brother, David, and he, I think, was more like Harry. But it was a joy. I mean, I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm working a puppet that I'd seen as a kid on television. So anyway, I'm rattling on. I bet there'll be some questions from people maybe.
Michael still has his 35-year-old Sooty.
Wow, excellent.
Built to last back then.
They were. And they were made by the children's toy manufacturer Chad Valley in those days for Harry. He did a deal with them. And so they produced the Sooties for the toy, for the shops, but also for Harry, which was great, because I hate to say this publicly, but of course there is more than one Sooty, because, they'd all get sort of, custard pies thrown at them, or water, or mud, or whatever, So we had to have sort of clean ones, and you couldn't sort of clean one puppet. Although I know Harry and I also did too. I had a favourite sweet puppet that I used to like to use. They sort of fitted like a glove. Oh, what a corny thing! But that was the thing. And they absolutely a joy. And fun enough, just early this year, it's the 75th anniversary of Sooty this year, and we did a show at the Theatre Royal Nottingham, and it was just one Sunday evening. It was part of the Nottingham Puppet Festival. It was I think it was the last Sunday of the festival. Anyway, and we had Richard Cadell now owns Sooty Limited and presents the show, and he did the sort of This Is Your Life of Sooty. So he showed lovely clips with Harry and Matthew, and he brought all us oldies along, and we did a little bit. In fact, we had Zippy and George on it as well, which was lovely. Nice. And they all sang a song together, because obviously Sooty appeared with Matthew on Rainbow too, so it was a nice connection. And I talked about working with Harry and Marjorie and Matthew, So no, it was lovely. So that was rather special
Yeah.
to be involved in that.
Yeah, because like Ben says, the best memory of Sooty's when Sweet became Superdog and beat Jeff Capes at a tug of war.
Oh yes, that hilarious, wasn't it? I mean, it's so silly, isn't it? You know, you've got this Jeff Capes, big muscle guy pulling the thing, and these little clubs doing it. You know, I think there might have been a bit of Sooty magic in that.
Ah, okay.
Yes, you
That
know,
makes
Izzy
sense.
Wizzy. Yeah.
Yeah, Sweet rocks.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? It's funny, you know, people love Sweet. Well, he's the naughty one. It's like Zippy.
He is the naughty
Everybody likes somebody who's a little bit naughty, you know. But,
Oh, I forgot about Scampy.
oh yes, Scampy. Oh yes, that's right. That was Matthew brought him in a bit
Right.
later on, you know, because it was lovely, and he was quite sweet. Just this younger little puppy, you know. Again, he was always getting into scrapes and stuff. So, yeah.
But yeah, like Fran says, Matthew Corbett was an underrated performer. He could have done comedy without the puppets. Yeah, he was
Absolutely.
timing.
Well, he did, you know. He worked with Jerry and the Pacemakers, Jerry Marsden, and he knew him as a friend, and they did a couple of series on Thames Television. Probably, I don't think they sort of you know, it wasn't sort of a long few years of it. I think it might have been a couple of years or something. But anyway, he did these series with Jerry, and it was very much your you know, Matthew being the sort of the comedy sort of slapstick humor, and it was there were kids programs, but they worked well together on that. Yes, he's quite right actually, Fran. So I mean, you're right. He very much underrated performer, really.
What's the next show? Everyone knows Sooty. Does everyone remember? Let me close this up. Ragdolliana. Is that?
Oh yeah. Now I'm trying. Let me try. And this is.
Yes. I'm just trying to remember if it is a puppet show. Oh, there it is.
Yes, that. Oh, now you see that has lovely Pat Coombs.
Yeah.
Who's what adorable lady. She appeared on Rainbow quite a few times, and she's such a sweet woman. Oh, lovely. She played Auntie Patty or Auntie Pat or something on Rainbow. But yes, she did. That was not. I don't know if it was really puppetry. There might have been a bit. With maybe the rag doll moved around.
Yeah,
but it was a sort of rag doll that she sort of held and talked with and stuff like that. And there were stories, as far as I remember. I mean, I didn't see too many of them, to be honest. I was too busy working on my own show. How dreadful! How dreadful! But Pat Coombs was an absolute sweetheart and worked with nearly every English comedian, you know, on the television. I mean, she was really wonderful. Sadly, she's no longer with us now.
Yes, glad to know that she wasn't. She was as nice as she played.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and hilarious, wonderful timing for the comics. You know, you've got to have these people, you know, that can, you know, get a joke and absolutely play it properly and react. And she had this lovely face. I mean, she was a comics joy to have. You know, this lovely face, and she was, you know, tall actually too, which was quite funny. Yeah. Anyway, there we go.
Yeah. Like Ian says, epitome of the charm and auntie grandma. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Quite agree.
Yeah. Of course, Rainbow. Everyone...
Oh, that show. No, I wonder whether I know about that show. Oh, let's look. Oh, look at all the credits up there. That's
nice.
Look
at this.
Pamela Lonsdale, the
who's
original.
This person?
Sorry.
A Canadian-born British puppeteer.
Yes, I don't know who he is at all, because this one sounds terribly English. Actually, no, I did come over from Canada when I was 3, so I mean, hence very, very good, strong English accent.
Proper English.
Proper English, yes.
It's Bill's favourite with a U, don't you?
Yes. Love it. Yeah. Yes, lots of people all credited on there. That's good.
Yeah. Opening theme by Telltale.
Yeah, that was brilliant. You know, that is such a favourite tune to so many people, you know, up above the streets now. I mean, it's last even today, and it's, you know, it's years old. You know, it's fantastic. And mind you, I think some of the Telltale group, you know, they get a little bit of music right, you know, when it's played, they get a little bit of money back. So I think it was quite nice, you know, for them, which was great. Same with the singers as well, our singers on the programme. I mean, it was great, you know.
Of course.
But
yes, typically about 15 minutes. Though some
That's it.
specials are 10 minutes longer.
well, we actually made, I think originally it was more like nearly 20 minutes, but it was reduced a little bit because I think once when these programs get popular, the advertising companies, because it's ITV, want to have a little bit more slice of that time, so they can. And also ITV said, oh yes, well we can make a little bit more profit, you see, with the advertising money. So you know, we were sort of cut down a little bit, but not too much. I don't think people really noticed too much.
Well, I think was it by the time the 90s came on and the adverts were like for loans and sort of these
gosh, yeah.
non-children adverts.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, because there was quite a sort of ban on some children's, you know, advertising, wasn't there? I think they, you know, it was sort of too many sweets and too much, you know, stuff that was making them, you know, not well or whatever.
Something for the parents instead.
Absolutely. Debt societies or something. Oh gosh, yeah.
So like a rainbow. Oh, my computer just froze. There we go. Right, perfectly executed.
Ian, thank you. You know, we were very lucky when because we all got on so well together, and eventually the cast wrote the scripts as well. So because we knew the characters so well, I think, and the producer who was that time wasn't Pamela. Then it was, I think Charles was the one who said, look, you know, why don't we all, you know, you all write stuff, have a go anyway. And we got, you know, they just knew all these sort of little sort of silly things that Zippy says, and they made sure they put the stuff in. And no, it was great. I was a little bit of work overload. I didn't actually write any of the scripts, but Roy Skelton wrote scripts, Jeffrey did, Freddie wrote some, and who else? I'm sure there was somebody else as well. Oh, Stanley Bates, sorry, who was one of the original Bungle Bears, not the very original, because that was lovely John Leeson, who's, you know, K9 on Doctor Who and all sorts of lovely other things. Oh, that's a lovely, thank you, Ian. Perfectly, lovely executed kids show, and it just worked well. Thank you. I think again, it's down to the performers and the writers and the producer. And I mean, we were in a titchy little studio. You'd never believe it, you know, what we did in that small studio. But again, if you get used to the space you're in, you sort of use it as much as you possibly can to get the best out of it. So that's it. Yeah.
I always think because it was made in the 70s, you turned up hungover on a Monday morning, just had fags in your hand. Let's just film this.
Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah, I don't think so. Not a lot of us smoked, you know. We were very actually, no, I'm telling a lie. Actually, yes, quite a few of the company did. Actually, I didn't, because I was so clean and well brought up. I never put a cigarette in my mouth. Absolute lie. I mean, I did when I was 15 working at the Puppet Theatre. One of the first times I did do smoke behind the bike shed once at school, but you know, doesn't anybody do that sort of stuff? Anyway, but I was given a cigarette for a smoke effect in the Puppet Theatre. So I'd had this rubber tube thing, and it went to a hole in the middle of the stage, and then there was a witch's bowl, and then the smoke puffed out, and we had a red light in the bowl, so it all looked quite good. And if you did it correctly, like, you know, and blew it gently down, it all came out rather nicely. It looked rather good. But it put me off smoking. I mean, actual smoking. Vile.
There are other ways to do the effect these days.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, it's quite different. Yeah.
Right. Let's see what's next. Roland
Rat. How lovely.
Rap hands.
No, I mean, it was that was again a friend that I'd worked with in Birmingham at the Midlands Arts Centre years ago, and this is David Claridge, his name was, and he produced, made the puppet, made the character. In fact, did all the voices, absolutely all the character voices. We worked some of the puppets. I didn't do obviously I didn't work with him on Breakfast AM, but when he got the BBC, moved over to the BBC and got a few series there. I know it's because it was when my daughter was born. I remember having to rush to, in those days, BBC Television Centre. We were filming there, but you know, I mean, again, lovely, strong character. And then he had some lovely foils like the hamster. And I forgot. Was it Gordon the hamster or something? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think
Errol
of
the gerbil. Yeah,
Oh,
Kevin
Errol.
the gerbil. Errol the hamster,
yeah.
wasn't it? The Welsh hamster.
That's right. Because when David originally came from Birmingham, and then he worked with a company called Puppeteer, which was run in Wales, and so he got the Welsh. Not the language, but the lilt, and managed to get one of the characters speaking a sort of Welsh rhythm, which was lovely. But we had a lot of fun on that. We had actually it got very popular. I mean, apart from the AM program, when it had his own program, he got quite big stars. We had Frankie Howard on it. We had all sorts of quite big namey character actors, all playing a little bit in the show. And I mean, he went into Europe, I think, with his Ratmobile, if you remember that pink.
It's what is it? Pink Ford Angler. There it is.
That's it. But no, it was again, it was a really popular puppet. And of course, he could say what he liked. I mean, he did brilliant improvisation. And so you never knew quite especially with TV AM, never knew quite what he was going to say to people, which again, you see, made people want to come in and look at the program. Because, when Roland was on, and then he did sort of Saturday morning type, kids stuff as well, and answered the phone and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yes. I remember that now.
No, it was great. He's now in America, David. Yeah, I think he runs a company out there. So,
yeah, because I stole his Run VT line. I use it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honored or homaged.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, so I'm just 1985. I couldn't remember the years. I'm hopeless.
Well, yes, I can. Big Brother.
Did some Channel 5 stuff as well. Gosh, yeah.
LA Rat.
Yeah, LA Rat. I like that.
Was an Ashes to Ashes, the TV series, I guess.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, we did a bit on that as well, Zippy and George.
Yes.
We was only a small, very small bit, but it was a brilliant series because they kept playing because it was sort of set back. It went back in time, didn't it? And they had a television on in the background, and you'd have the rainbow characters on then. And then there was a bit where, now I can't remember, it was one of the main leads. And I can't remember her name, but she had a daughter, and she got missing or something at one point, and we had a tiny scene with Zippy and George appearing, and we were like, I think we were supposed to be like policemen or something. I remember Zippy had a truncheon or something, that he was waving about, and he said, "No, your mother will be," I'm not doing Zippy's voice, sorry. Your mother will be, lost in space. I don't know, I can't remember what the line was. But so yeah, no, we did a bit of that. It was quite nice. It was very different, for then in those days, for like children's telly puppets to suddenly be in a sort of quite, adult drama thing, So it was fun. It was fun to do that.
Yeah, nice. Because it looks like he's been coming back. Like, oh yes, I remember rat rapping in 1982.
Oh yeah, that's right. And we did do something with Roland. Oh, I know what we did. We did the Weakest Link, that quiz book.
Yes.
And there was a puppet version, and that's what I think is the last time I've seen David actually. And he came over, and so it was very much a puppeteers gathering, because we had all the sort of well-known puppets, Sooty obviously, and Sue and Sweep and all that were on it, and Zippy and George, and there was Roland. Oh, and there was the goat. Now, what was he called? He was on Saturday morning ITV. People probably remember him.
Yeah.
It'll come to me, I'm sure.
Yes.
I knew the puppeteer, Simon Buckley, did him. He was like a Liverpool, slight Liverpool accent.
That's him.
To him. But and we all appeared, and it was Anne, forgotten her surname.
Where is it? Robinson.
Oh, Anne Robinson, of course it was. And she, of course, she's famous for was on that program to be really sort of strict and, you're fired, out. Not you're fired. That's the other guy. But bye, goodbye, off. And but she was actually quite sweet to us. I mean, not she kept the persona of being quite strict and quite short-tempered on that, but she loved us. She thought it was hilarious having the puppets
That's
on
good.
there, which was
brilliant.
nice, actually. Yeah.
Nobby the sheep.
Oh, Nobby the sheep, of course. Thank you very much, Ian.
Nobby from Ghost Train. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and Francis. Is it
And
Francis?
France and Ben. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone seems to know.
And
better
everybody
than I
else
do.
knows. It's just I have these senior moments, everybody, now. You know, just can't remember everybody's names.
Yes. It's called the 80s. Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Puddle Lane. Gosh. Now, was that Ian? What was his name? Oh, Rick. Was it Rick Lyons or somebody?
Where
I
is he?
can't
Where is he?
remember.
Oh, that's the animated series.
Ah, right. Ah, that's the animated one. Right. I was thinking of something else, I think.
I
Robin
think there was.
Ince, I think I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
yes, he is mentioned there, isn't he? The Rootles.
Is he
Neil in it.
mentioned? I can't read it from my... Oh, yeah. That's right.
Neil
He
in
is
it.
mentioned on that. Yes,
Yeah.
there we are.
I think
Yeah.
I seem to remember a Welsh puppet in that one.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
There he is.
Oh, that's right. And that was Richard Robinson who made that puppet. Again, he hasn't done... Oh, in fact, when we did Rainbow, after the Thames series finished, there was a break, and then we did a sort of Rainbow Days program. In fact, Richard played Bungle for a short time on the new revamped Rainbow. But he also made a lot of programs, like, I think he made the puppet, the sort of dragon thing, and operated him, I think. I hope I'm right. Oh dear, I'm sure he did, but don't know whether it says
right page. There it is. Right.
Yeah. Don't know whether it gives credits to the puppet
it's
maker.
A very slim listing on this one.
Ah, yes, it is, isn't it?
No.
Anyway, I think I'm right, but I may be wrong. I might mix it up with another program. But
Spell Dragon, voiced by Richard Robinson.
Ah, there you go.
There
There you are. Richard, well, he voiced it. I knew there was a connection. Phew.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I used to like Puddling. Like people are saying, I had some of the books myself as well.
Yeah, that's right. They were good. Some of the companies were really good at producing books and magazines and things. Rainbow was a little bit, or Thames was a little bit slow. Eventually they did. We had the Rainbow comic and then all the annuals that came out. But it took a while before they did all that stuff. I don't know why, but that's...
Yeah, I guess it's usually down to licensing or
yeah, no, it is.
Legalities of who owns what.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Pipkins, how nice. Well, that was our rival program in a way. And that was lovely Nigel Plaskett, who was a dear friend. I knew Nigel first when he was 12 and I was 14. So his parents were hairdressers, and I used to get free haircuts. You know, I used to go and meet them and say, "Can you do my hair?" And they didn't charge me. I thought that was great as a kid. Nice. And we also collected, or Nigel did. This is all before we went into the profession, but he had lots of Pelham puppets, these string puppets that you could buy, you know, in places like what was it, Hamleys and all those, but other big toy shops. Yeah. And he had quite a big collection. His sister and they used to do shows, and I used to come and help doing that. I can't remember how I originally met him, but we've known each other for years and years. And it's funny how he went on. I went and did Rainbow, and he went and did Pipkins. We met up there about a month ago, just for a lunch. You know, it was nice just to catch up. So yeah, he's a bit like me now. He's doing these sort of film Comic-Con things and all that now, because as well as doing Pipkins, he was an actor, and he did a little bit on Doctor Who and things like that. You know, several series ago, I think probably with Tom Baker. I think Tom Baker was the Doctor when he was on it. But so, you know, he's asked sometimes to go to a Comic-Con because, you know, all the Who people flock to get signatures and stuff. And of course, they know him as, you know, Hartley Hare as well. And he did loads of the other voices. He's got a lovely voice himself. You know, I always remember him saying, "It's time," you know, and with his clock when, you know, it was just a sort of silly thing that happened. But he did the Tortoise or something, and he did Hartley, and I think he did other ones as well.
So the pig's got a Birmingham accent.
That's right.
Cockney, the ostrich is French. The pigeon's upper class English.
Oh, absolutely.
Mrs. Penguin's Geordie, and then the Uncle Hare is West Country.
Yeah, I think it was like trying to make the program so it's got, you know, an accent for every part of England, so it could be, you know, sort of sold or shown. But, no, it was great. It was great. I think,
yeah.
in fact, if people absolutely, love Pipkins, there is a company that are going to bring out absolutely every episode on Blu-ray or something. I think it's going to cost a fortune, but Nigel's done some, little bits like interviews and things, and talked about how they did the program and stuff like that. So that'll be on this new. I don't know. I think it must be Blu-ray. It might be, what's the other thing? The sort of even higher up.
4K.
That's it. 4K stuff. Yeah.
333 episodes. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, goodness no. I mean, I'm not quite sure whether they'll get every single one, but they've really been trying to, find them, because a lot of these things get lost, into the wherever they get lost, and I think there's some people have collected them on VHS or something all those years ago, and then the company acquires them and then redigitizes them, makes them a bit stronger and better.
That's good.
So that's one way of getting the lost episodes.
But yes, Pipkins kind of scared me. I
sort of know what you mean. I'm not being horrible, and there's nothing against Nigel, but I thought sometimes the puppets, the design of them were a bit creepy.
Yeah.
They weren't all that charming, but they improved as time went on. But the original ones were a bit.
He seems to have changed.
Yeah, that's right. He's a bit more. That's him a bit more sort of. But I remember looking at some thinking, gosh. You've got. Oh yes, there were DVDs. That's right. There's a box set
complete
of them. That's it. But I think they found, since that box set came out, they found some more programs, from wherever people find them. Nice. I know there's a company wanting to bring them out.
Orm and Cheap.
Oh, Orm and Cheap. Gosh,
Richard
this
Bryars.
is really, Oh, lovely Richard Bryars.
Yeah.
I had some friends who worked on that, and the puppet maker was Mary Edwards, and I don't know whether she designed the puppets as well, but I know she made them. And there was a lovely friend, Ian Tom, worked on it. I'm trying to remember. Oh, here we are. Has it got puppeteers there? Puppet creator Mary Edwards. That's right.
Mary Edwards, Jeff Felix, Ian Tom.
That's right. That's it. Jeff Felix and Ian Tom. That's it. And they did that. It was quite a sweet little program, really. It was for the younger kids, and quite funny little characters. But I think it was made very well. It was made even more charming because of Richard Bryars' narration. Really, I mean, that is perfect casting, and because he was so charming. I love that.
Only Sheep could fly.
Oh yeah. Oh, hilarious! Gosh.
How many episodes is that? Because only 26. Always felt
right.
like there was more.
Yes, I would have thought there was more, but there you go.
Oh, the notable photo of the rat and the crow.
Yes.
Trying to consume the bear.
Yes, that was an 80s one, wasn't it? Oh yes, the crow from Orm and Sheep. Yes, it was a big baddie. Yeah, that's it.
Sleep tight tonight, people. Don't have nightmares.
Yes, no, please. Yes, we don't want that.
But I thought about Orm and Sheep. Learn with Sooty.
Oh
more
yeah, no, that's
Sooty.
right.
How
They
many
were the
shows did this
educational.
guy have?
Yeah, that was Matthew. I mean, he got into doing these educational. Sooty again. Sooty was so popular that, and then it's always good to use a sort of well-known character as a teaching tool, as it were.
Yes.
And that's what they did with these ones. I don't know how many they made, but they made quite a few. I'm trying to read the thing.
It ran for 2 years, but doesn't.
Right, and probably made. And there was all different subjects they covered and stuff. And got
start to read with Sooty. Hang on, you can't. How do you know he's reading when you can't talk?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Simple science. I've got a few of these videos.
Matthew, I think I had one in the past. I'm not sure. I've got grandchildren now, and I tend to sort of give stuff away. Mind you, of course, if it's on VHS, they go, "What's that?"
Yeah, what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, Ian's regressed. He's sucking his thumb and weeping.
Oh, are you? I'm sorry, Ian. Don't keep it up, though, will you? Because it's not a good thing.
Oh, yeah, Sooty can whisper.
Oh, yes, Sooty can whisper. Of course he can. That's what he did. What, Sooty? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. 2 and 2 is 4. That's right. Sooty, all that.
He was an excellent teacher, apparently. Yes, probably learned more from him than in the actual school.
Well, this is it. You see, again, is a favorite character, sort of doing this sort of educational stuff. It's really quite great, good thing.
Yeah.
Really just. I mean, you always have your favorite teacher, of course, but I mean, when we've got a lovely puppet character or something doing it, and doing it with a bit of fun, because and doing the silly things too, as well as the the sensible educational bits, it works really well.
Yeah, it must have, because they went on for a good few years on
Yeah,
specials.
yeah.
Right, where are we?
Oh,
Grim
Grim
Tales.
Tales, fabulous. Now that was a lovely couple who made the puppets for that. Gavin Glover and Liz Walker. They worked, but the wonderful Rick Mayo. Is it Rick Mayo? I think it was, wasn't it?
Nail, yeah.
Yeah, he was brilliant as a storyteller.
He was.
And it was a fabulous. It was quite an interesting, because it was quite sort of adult in a way. There's they were grim. It was Grim Tales, so it was based on a lot of the Grimm brothers Grimm stuff, but he sat on this chair, and that was a puppet as well. The handle, it moved around a little. Oh, there you are. There's a picture on there of the chair, and things moved in it, and he was really good as storyteller. And that there was some lovely, quite interesting looking puppets, very different from the normal run of the sort of, I'm not being rude, but the sort of Muppet type. They were very much more characterful, and it went with the with the context of what he was reading. And there was I think they used some animation as well as puppetry. It was a nice mixture of stuff.
Often abstract animation, apparently.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, no, that's right.
But yeah, only 11 minutes, that one. I didn't realise.
Oh yeah, all right, quite short.
I guess but yeah, Three Feathers, The Hare and the Hedgehog, Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Because it's yeah.
He was, wasn't he? I totally agree, Ryder. Yeah, absolutely. He was really brilliant.
Yeah, I saw him, Jack and Ori, doing.
Oh yeah, that's
Gorgeous
right.
Medicine and stuff like that.
Yeah, really good.
Ben saw Sooty live on stage when Matthew took the show on tour. Saw him perform at the Beck Theatre in Hayes, West London. Nice.
Yes, yeah. He did He did 25 years of touring, 25 years working. Being the man behind Sooty, same as Harry did. Harry did 25 years, and so I think that's when he decided. He thought, right, I've done my bit now. And then, of course, his family were growing up, and I don't know whether they'd produced their own children yet, but they were getting on, and he just needed to be back with them, because literally when you're with the Sooty, that you do the telly series in the summer or whatever, and then you go off and you do the rest of the year you're touring all over the country, plus you usually do a panto with Sooty and Sweep in so it's like full-time stuff, and you're just on the road most of that time too. But,
Oh, what's this one? Green Claws.
Oh, Green Claws. Yes. Now that was interesting. Again, another quite. Yeah. It was this lovely sort of. I know somebody I think has managed to find the original, skin. It was an actor inside, obviously, because it was a big, and it was all sort of rubber, latex rubber or something. So it all gone a bit over the years, all a bit. And he's actually made it. Brought it back to life again. It looks a bit better.
Oh, nice.
But I can't remember who was involved in that. It was rather.
Let's look.
Let's see.
Written by Ursula Jones. Nick Mercier starred in it. Stella Goodyear.
Right. Oh, yes.
Christine Hewitt, producer.
Right. It's obviously was doing other things, but I did see the odd one of that. Again, it was one of these quirky programs. There was some quite good children's stuff made, with a slightly quirky look to them, and I think it was really good, rather than a whole lot of stuff that I mustn't criticize too much today, but there is so much sort of CGI sort of cartoony effects, and it doesn't have the same. I don't think has the same quality and the strength that some of these older programs have.
You can see right through it, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's Ghost Train. That's the one.
Oh, Ghost Train. That
Nobby the Sheep by Simon Buckley. That's them.
That's it. and I think Francis Wright was very, very much involved in that as well. Ghost Train. Oh no, wait a minute. Ghost Train was a Saturday morning one, wasn't it?
That's the Saturday morning.
Thinking
Yeah.
of Round the Bend.
That.
Sorry,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Do you remember that one?
Round the Bend. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we're all round the bend. No, but yes, Ghost Train was like a Saturday morning, and Simon was the character, you know, the puppet character with a whole lot of presenters and stuff, and it was a bit like all those Saturday morning type programs, you know, and they tried to be, you know, it's different, but it went on. It was very popular, I think, because it was like trying to sort of up stage the BBC, who had lots of Saturday morning, you know, programs, you know, sort of thing, going out, you know, with lovely presenters and all the rest, you know. So, there he is, Nobby the sheep
in pantomime on cooking shows.
Yeah. That's right. Gosh.
Yes, criticize and say shows fine. I do it every day. No magic in CGI.
Thank you very much, Michael. I totally agree. I'm glad you said that. It is a shame, but it's, you know, it's one of these things. I don't know. I don't want to say progress, because I don't think it is really.
Did Ronnie work on the highly expensive prequel, the recent one?
Yes, I did. And sadly, I haven't got a picture, but I just found a picture of myself working one of the podlings. You know, the poddling scene, and they have a little dance, and there's a sort of little party before everything all sort of collapses around them. And in the original film of Dark Crystal, there was one little marionette sequence, which I thought Jim Henson was so clever, showing a podling's feet dancing, did a little at this little party. So it was a string puppet. When I say marionette, sorry everybody, don't know what I'm talking about.
It's an educated group,
Louis, the director, said, "Oh, let's have that sequence in this one," because it was a similar podling scene. And so I was sort of well known for working string puppets, so I was upper gantry, and we had a puppet sort of, or one of the characters converted into a string puppet, and I worked. It's only a short sequence, but it was really lovely. So the camera pans, and you see him doing quite sweet little dances, and they pan across, and there's all the ones in the cave, you know, and you just imagine they've all got feet. You know, it was because you've just seen that one doing a little bit of a dance. Very clever. It's all very
how you do
good stuff. But I worked several things. I did a lot of animatronic, you know, stuff. The Skexers had eyes that did, and the mouths were worked by the puppeteers, who were actually inside all that.
Oh, right.
Apart from, they weren't inside the head, but they were inside the body of them, and they put their hand up, you know, to work the head. But there was a animatronic stuff going on as well, and there was about 5 of us all sitting there when, you know, working these lovely radio control things. And of course, when I first did that sort of thing, it was like 2 levers, you know, and then and nowadays it's got 5 or 6 things, and they can all go, you know, do all sorts of stuff. And you don't, and it was always, years ago, it was just one camera. Now you have 3 camera shots. You've got to look at 3 monitors, and you know, they might cut to the close up, and you'll be looking at that, and then suddenly they'll be cutting a frame, walking. You're going to make sure the eyes are looking in the right direction. It's quite a complex thing to learn. Yeah, but it was a joy to work on it. I was what you call an additional puppeteer. I wasn't one of the main puppeteers on it, but it was such fun to work on. Nice. And you know, it was a lovely job. You know, it was, and that came out of the blue. I was doing a telly thing somewhere in Sheffield, and one of the main puppeteers who did the Chamberlain, Warwick Brownlow Pike, and he does Dodge on short BBC at the moment. It was children's CBBS or whatever it is. Anyway, and we were both at this television thing, and he said, "Oh, Ronnie, what are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "I'm sleeping. I've been all day at the." You know, he said, "No, you're not. You're coming to audition for, you know, Dark Crystal." And I hadn't really heard about it, but Warwick was a bit more in the know with all the sort of Muppet type stuff. And so we all went up. In fact, I was up there with Louise Gold and the other wonderful, marvelous, silly one. No, not silly. That's not very nice. But very funny guy who is, come on, Ronnie, Phil Fletcher, who does the dog, the Hacker, the dog, if you know, Hacker T dog, and he was up doing, because they're all sort of breaks. It was quite clever the way they scheduled it, because we were all on a break from doing whatever telly stuff we were doing.
Right.
So we all went up and did a little bit of auditioning, and then we got the call, which is very nice. And I think I did about I think the whole thing took about, I don't know, about 8 months or something to do that. It was 10 episodes of it, and it was all highly complex sets and stuff, you know, and it was quite a big thing to do. Anyway, and they needed additional puppeteers to do like crowd scenes, and because there was lots of puppets walking by, you know, just out of shot or whatever, or battles and all sorts of stuff, and it was lovely. We did a shadow puppet sequence, which was quite nice to do. What else did I do on that? Or several bits. I remember keeping Skeksis alive. It was just keeping him breathing, and all this sort of stuff. But and they did use a little bit of CGI on that, but not on the well. Funny enough, the Skeksis tongues, some of them had CGI tongues, but you would never know. You know, that didn't ruin. I mean, they're all real puppets, but the background, some of the skies and stuff like that, you know, the sets would finish, you know, sort of this side, and then there'd be a green screen, and that's where the CGI would go on. And there was sometimes flying creatures that came in and did all that, because you know, it was a really busy sort of well, visually busy, you know, to look at, lots of things happening, like the original Dark Crystal. So, but sadly, Netflix, in their wisdom, didn't take up the next series, because there was already a script written, because there's three. It's a trilogy, these Dark Crystal, The Age of Resistance, and there was another one, and sadly they didn't take and yet we won. You know, they won Netflix won a children's, I don't know, it was a BAFTA, but you know, the equivalent of some sort of prize. And,
it was very well received.
They didn't bother to put any of that. Mind you, it did. I know it cost an awful lot of money, because they tried originally to do it with CGI, because they said that's what we do these days. and the Hensons went, well, you know, well, we'll give you a little promo of it, and they were completely, you know, it was just sort of didn't have any character really. They were perfect in the way they moved and everything, like you can do with CGI, but there was no soul to them. There was nothing. And then anyway, they agreed eventually to do it with puppetry, but of course, obviously, it's not cheap to do it with puppets, but you get a most beautiful visual images and proper characters and all the rest of it. But now I think they probably thought, well, we spent I don't know how many million, but you know, I'm going to say 7 just out of the thing. But you know, a lot of money on a 10-episode series and filmed, you know. So and I think they just thought, well, we've won that award, but we're not going to spend another. It'll probably be 10 million by the time we do the next, and you know, that just wouldn't be. They couldn't do it. So sadly, it wasn't made. But I think the scripts are still around. So I think you know, maybe one day the next story will be done.
Puppets can be remade. They don't age.
Well, this is it. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and if they're stored properly, you know, they should be okay. So, so I've gone away from the Ghost Train, haven't I? But
never mind.
That's what happens with all these.
Because there was Get Fresh that had.
Oh yes, that was great. Actually, that lovely puppet was hilarious, and he had what do you call it? All dripping.
Snot.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, it was wonderful. Hilarious cat. And Gareth Jones, that's right. He was the presenter. And I did know the guy that did the voice. And is it there? I'm sorry, my brain.
Wow.
It should be there. But doesn't matter. But maybe somebody will remember
He's voiced by Phil. Yeah, it doesn't say.
That's right. That's it. That's right. He was voiced, but there's a puppeteer who did the puppet. I mean, they did quite a few episodes of that, and it was this anarchic sort of character, this strange monster, you know, with dribbling all this sort of saliva or whatever it was. I think it might have been KY jelly, but I didn't say that on this family program. But
But yes, everyone's fans of Gilbert.
Oh yeah, fabulous.
My mum disapproved of Gilbert.
Well,
She thought it was disgraceful.
Yeah, no, it's true. I know what people. My mother would have done as well. She was,
My mum did.
he's spitting things. He's not a nice person. But of course, we as kids, if you watch something like that, you think, oh, getting away with murder. I mean, it's the same Zippy thing. He was getting away with murder on. So it's that's just that.
Yeah, I guess you weren't puppeting Zippy in a pool of KY jelly, though.
No, I certainly wasn't. No. But again, he was like a presenter, wasn't he? Because it was again a Saturday morning show, as far as I remember.
Yeah, introducing cartoons and such.
Yeah, that's it.
The Millennium Dustbin.
Yeah.
Yes, Gaz Top, as he was known by then.
That's it. Yeah. Looking very different to what he looks like now.
No, yes, much more.
He did How, didn't he?
Later, How,
things like that. Yeah.
Fraggle Rock.
Oh, Fraggle Rock. Here we go. We're going into the Henson world of the Hensons.
Yes, there's quite a few Hensons.
That was a really, well, it's still happening, but it was such a brilliant concept. And again, I think Jim and his producer friends and everything. I mean, the fact that you made it in Canada, it was made in Canada, or still is made in Canada, but you had the narration, or the beginning bit was always, because he was selling it worldwide, the Muppets had taken off and it was a big thing. They had these snippets of sort of narration or introducing the sort of character, and then they'd go into where Fraggle Rock, where all the characters were.
Yeah.
But they were always made in the country of where they were being sold. So, we had a Scottish actor over here playing, and it was in a lighthouse, I think.
Yes,
we had this dog, Sprocket, I think his name was. Gosh, I can't believe I'm remembering all this. And then, if they made it in, did a Spanish version, you'd have a equivalent Spanish actor. And I think they always had a dog with them. And I think but again, it would obviously speak in Spanish or whatever, the language, so that it would all relate to the rest of the program. But no, they're wonderful, and those lovely little characters. And I always forget, there was the puppet ones, and then there was these little robot characters. What were they called, Ronnie? You should remember. But anyway, I loved them. I thought they were one with their little crash helmets on.
Yeah, they were
sort of moved along. They were great. But again, lovely production values. Doozers. Thank you very much, Ian. Lovely. That's it. But no, it was. I mean, again, and there's obviously this just being. I think they've had an anniversary, haven't they? Just recently, I think they have. And they've certainly made I don't know whether they've made a one-off, but I think they're still producing them, which is great.
Fraggle Rock animations, they were on.
Yeah.
Muppet, was it the Muppet Christmas special back in the 80s, wasn't there?
Oh, wow, yes, I'm sure.
So...
there's a lovely
Grogs
puppeteer called Karen Prell, who works one of the characters. She's done it right from the beginning, but it's lovely. And I think Dave Goltz as well. Oh, there she is. Yes, lovely. Yeah, lovely Karen. And Dave Goltz does one. He's of course classic Muppet performer, and because he was Gonzo and all sorts of other wonderful characters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who was this. Who was the one? Fulton Mackay. That's who I was.
Oh yes, Fulton Mackay. Thank you. I knew he was Scottish. I couldn't remember the name.
I couldn't remember his name. I was just thinking Porridge.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course, Porridge. Wonderful.
Mr. Mackay. That's him.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Mackay from Porridge. That's right. David. That's I wonderful.
Yeah.
But, that's lovely.
It's one of those catchy theme tunes as well that helps.
Absolutely. Oh, and that's Steve Whitmire, who of course played. There he is. He's just had a birthday. Actually, I think he's 65 or something. I might be wrong, but anyway, he's he was, of course, took over Kermit originally from Jim when Jim died, and then there's been several. There's another guy doing it now, Matt Fogel, is it? I think his name is. Anyway, he's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, only 96 episodes. That's
wow.
5 years. But then, it did spin-offs, etc.
Yeah, very good.
But yeah, there was that. Was it the Uncle Traveling Matt or something, wasn't it?
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah,
I remember
you had
him in
some of the
London.
big characters as well. People in skins.
Where are
There
they?
was a lovely mixture of characters in
Doozers,
it.
tiny Gorgs, yeah, the giant
Yeah,
ones.
that's right. Yeah.
6
Oh,
foot.
wonderful.
Right, where are we? Finger Mouse.
Oh,
Now,
Finger Mouse. Now
does
here
he
we are.
count as a puppet?
Oh, it was lovely. Just these little cardboard. Oh, there you are. Lovely cardboard tubes, and just
Yeah.
literally fit them on your fingers. And that was lovely. Rick, what was his surname? Oh,
Let's have a look.
He
Richard Brown.
sang-
Oh, that's where's he gone? Created by Michael Cole.
yeah.
Where is it?
I think it was Rick, somebody or other, who was the singer and did the sort of. But then there was people that took over after he did the first few series, and then somebody else took over from him. But anyway, it's a lovely idea, just putting a cardboard tube over, and then the big ears for the mice, and just sort of, it was really simple. He was quite a character, this guy, and I think when he did his last one, I think he just my fingers are killing me, and and clunk them down or something, because they're sort of paper thing. But
yes, because I guess Finger Mouse is a spin-off of Finger Bobs.
Yes, that's right. Gosh, no, that does ring a bell.
So, that was only 13 episodes. So yeah, it didn't do too much.
Yeah, it was quite short. But you see, with the BBC, they tend to repeat, all these programs. It's a bit like Andy Pandy and Bill and Ben and all those early 50s things. They went right up to the 70s, late 70s, I think, showing, repeating them.
Yes, Tortoise, Scampy.
Oh yeah, Scampy.
A seagull.
Gosh, yeah. It was very simple, but it was quite characterful. I mean, the presenter, and simple, but again, effective.
Yeah, because I guess he's got the glove and then he's got the mouse, but then I guess
there were other ones
happen quite easily, so you'd have to make a nod on quick.
That's right, absolutely. No, it's lovely.
Like, Ian says a glove and a cardboard tube, and I still remember it.
That's right. No, it's funny. It's true, though, isn't it? I mean, you do. It's sort of, if it just captured your imagination at the time, you somehow keep it in there.
Yeah. And Emu, of course.
Oh well, Emu. What can we say, lovely Rod? Oh, but I mean, again, he sort of had this character and presented it to the BBC, and again, but he was actually brilliant. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, it's all a bit sort of mad, he's sort of, but he really got that Emu became alive. I mean, the clever thing of having your own, hand in the puppet, and then you had a false hand, so it looked as though you were holding it, that thing. And he got, of course, I mean, he's famous. I mean, everyone remembers the Michael Parkinson interview where he sort of pecked everybody. But I mean, but there was so many others, weren't there? I mean, this was the children's show.
Yeah, this is just one of the children's shows.
That's right. Yes, he did several, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It was rather sad ending, really. He was mending an aerial on his roof or something, television aerial, and he slipped and fell off the roof. It was really sad, that.
Yeah.
But no, it was. I think he was a bit like Marmite. Some people loved him, and some people couldn't see what it was all about. But I thought he was very talented, really. When you look at it, you have to look back on some of these things, and I mean, like all things, some are really, not so good, but there's some really good quality stuff that he did. Were very funny and great improviser.
Because he did one of his shows live, I think, did he?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And he toured as well with the, he didn't just do the telly and stuff.
Yeah. But I think, wasn't he one of the highest paid people on television at one point?
I think he was. Yeah. I mean, there was certainly a lot of merchandise, lots of baby emus being made, and books and comics and all the rest of it. No, he was not at all silly about sort of promoting.
No.
Yeah, quite a few, isn't there? Yeah.
And then we got.
Oh, lovely. Well, this is more your traditional marionettes. This is lovely guy. I've forgotten his name. Ronald.
Oh, where's it gone?
There.
Was he
Doobie
there?
Duck.
Sorry.
Stevenson, Roger Stevenson, I think his name was, but I can't
Right.
see it on there.
No, it's
But
not much details. Yeah.
No, well, he was the puppeteer who made the characters or operated
Oh
them.
yes.
And there was two of them, two guys actually, and Doobie Duck was the sort of main sort of character for that particular show. There were several other shows I think he created stuff for, but it was interesting because they were marionettes,
Yeah.
string puppets. So they do their little dance, a bit like Pinky and Perky. They had pop songs they sang, and
Yeah.
little vehicle they travelled in, and I can't remember too much. But and the band, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at them.
The Cracker Jacks.
Sweet.
Sorry, Quacker Jacks.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes, I love it. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Again, they were a style that people would rather like them or they didn't. It was just whatever took your fancy, really.
Yeah.
But,
ran a. Did
Yeah.
a truck, a Euro tour, and
Yeah. No, I think he also
Uh,
played, variety theatres. I mean, there's something like
yeah.
London Palladium and stuff, a bit like Pinky and Perky did in their
Oh, nice.
time. So it was, he certainly did the rounds. They were quite, very popular.
Ben's having flashbacks of a.
Oh my
disco
goodness!
bus.
Oh, the disco bus. I love it.
Oh, Pinky and Perky were like a talented Anderson Deck. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, isn't it amazing? They were a lovely couple, originally from Czechoslovakia, the Dalibors, and they came over here just after the war, and in the early 50s, he'd already made puppets. He made all those wonderful characters, because they were quite well made.
Yeah.
And they played like Sunday Night London Palladium and variety stuff, but they got their telly show, and it was basically, they thought, well, and they used pop tunes of the day and speeded up the the sound, so they all had this sort of squeaky little voices, so that, and the pigs would dance away, and they had a lovely cow, I remember, and various and their little what was that song, some Speedy Gonzales, I don't know if people remember that, Speedy Gonzales, and they had a little tiny, I don't know, it was a mouse or something, or so, but they were very popular, and they did come back again. They're almost in their retirement. Simon Buckley was involved in it, and that was a Pinky and Perky, I think possibly for Channel 5. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But it didn't last so long, obviously. I think people sort of, it changed. But great stuff. But again, yes, marionette stuff sort of had its heyday probably in the 50s, 60s. And, well, we've got all the Jerry Anderson stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But that was so. But things sort of, they go up and down really. If you get a really good marionette act, everyone, marvelous. And then if you have, you've got stuff that's sort of people just move on to, like they went on. Everything had to be like Muppets, at one time because they were so popular.
Okay.
And it's just one of those things. But they were lovely. I think Roger Stevenson's now sort of retired now. I don't think he does, but he used to do, when they had summer seasons and this is again back in the day, but you'd have a 7-week summer season somewhere in Eastbourne or or Blackpool, of course, is famous for their summer season theatre shows, and they'd be a variety act within somebody like Ken Dodd or Morgan Wise or something in the summer, because they all did quite long summer seasons in those days. So we kept him going as well as the telly stuff. So it was quite good.
Yeah. Ian's asking, does anyone remember?
Oh, yes.
The mouse
love
puppet?
it. Topo Gigio, one of my absolute favourites. And I love that because, again, it appeared I saw it years ago on Sunday Night London Palladium. I keep talking about this programme. I absolutely adored it because I loved all the variety. But little Topo Gigio was probably, there he is. Oh, lovely. And, of course, he went to America. He was very popular in America. But there were 3 puppeteers. It was a lovely Italian lady that made the figure, and she also operated. There was 3 of them, and and there was, I don't know who did the voice, but I don't think it was her. I think it was a little, but it was brilliant. and he was so sweet. And I remember watching it thinking, how do they do it? Because they're all in black, you know, and you had and so they had little rods and stuff, you know, for the head, and his eyes blinked, and his, you know, lovely lip sync and sweet little fingers. No, he was a lovely character. I think they do cartoon versions of it now.
Yeah, it looks like there was an animated one in one of those pictures.
Ah, yeah, right, okay.
But
Wonderful. I loved it. Lovely character. And that's Ed Sullivan in America. The picture there.
You get on there.
You know, that was big variety show in America. The Ed Sullivan Show went on for years and years and years. Yeah. And he was terribly popular. Again, he was very popular with Bruce Forsyth when he was presenting the Sunday Night London Palladium. You know, Top Ajuja always needed somebody to play off. And you know, if you've got a lovely comic or something, he was quite happy to. And you know, it was very sweet, lovely character. Oh, it's nice seeing that puppet. I loved that. But then she recently died, the main puppeteer, sadly. You know, she was getting on a bit, but
oh yes, I guess so. But yes, let's talk about Lamb Chop. Apparently.
Oh well, yes. I think you're absolutely right, Francis. I mean, we have wonderful Shari Lewis, who is the most brilliant ventriloquist, I think, and lovely characters. Yes. There we are. Look how lovely. There she is. Sadly, she got cancer and died a few years ago now, but her daughter does it now.
Okay.
So it is still around. But she was lovely. I met her once. She came to the Little Angel Theatre. She's quite a short little lady, and I thought, oh my goodness. And you know, it's a bit like meeting your childhood, you know, I don't know, friends, you know, you've seen on telly. Because again, she was around. She started, I think, in the late 50s with her shows, and then did shows over here as well as in America and Canada and stuff. But she was lovely. She was a brilliant singer as well, and musical, you know, dancer. Very talented lady.
Yeah, nice.
And didn't just do stuff for kids. She could be quite not
I
risque,
do remember something risque about Lamb Chop as well.
Because she was very, very a good businesswoman as well. She was very, very nice.
Right.
Lovely.
I've done Emu. Doing that one. Where do we get? The DJ Cat Show.
Oh yes. Now that I was on Sky, I think, telly.
Yeah, Sky One in '86.
And I never had Sky, so I never really saw it. But I knew the puppeteer, and I think it was very lovely. Don Austin, I think, did that puppet.
Hang on.
Can't see the name there, but I know Don had something to do with it. And it was again, I think it was a Saturday morning thing. Oh, there he is, Don. Yeah, that's right. And brilliant puppeteer. Again, came from Birmingham originally. You know, worked with John Blunder like I did, and a lot of us all moved on and did telly and film stuff. Oh, there he is. Yes, quite a funny looking character, isn't he? But he was very strong. People loved him. Again, it was he was helping the presenter with the program, if you like. You know, although it was his show, he was the named person in the show. But
it's one I never saw. Like you said, I didn't have Sky either.
Yeah, I never saw it, sadly. So I think hopefully some of the people might, you know, see whether they liked it or not. But it's lovely how puppetry introduced such a family. Yeah, well, I've been in it rather a long time. That's how I know lots of people. You know, they come up to me and say, "Oh, do you remember when?" I say, "Oh, yes, I remember." You know? But no, it's lovely. I was incredibly lucky to be involved in that time, really. You know, all from, well, I suppose I started in 73 doing Rainbow, and then continued. You do get part, you know, you just meet your fellow puppeteers, like, for instance, when we did The Weakest Link, all these puppeteers with all their favorite or their famous characters all came together. You can imagine what the green room was like. They were wittering on, oh, hello. And again, like Don Austin, David Claridge, we all, and myself, and I think there were, and Simon Buckley, we all worked with John Blundell in Birmingham Midlands Arts Centre. I did a year there. I took a year off from working in London because it was a new, exciting form of puppetry. And it just turned out that they were all there around about not quite the same time as me, but we all worked, we all knew, you know, each other by then, and then moved off and did other things like working in the, you know, all these various telly programs and educational stuff and blah blah. And yeah, no, it's we do. It's sort of a small world. It's a little bit smaller than actors, you know. You, but yeah, I don't know some of the newer puppeteers so much now. You know, I don't do so much television nowadays. I mean, I do odd bits, but you know, I'm not regularly at as television studios. Whereas somebody like Phil Fletcher and Warwick Brownlow Pike at the BBC in Manchester, they're regularly there, and they'll keep up with all the newer people and stuff.
Well, yes. Okay.
Oh, Button Moon.
Now, does Button Moon count?
Yeah, well, that was written by Ian Allen, and the puppeteer who made most of the puppets, I think Ian designed a lot of it, but was a guy called John Thurtle. And I met him, it's such a small world, but I met him in the 60s. He was studying in Southampton University, and I was touring with the John Wright's Little Angel Theatre, which is all in the book. Oh, I've got it upside down.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, and basically, this student who was studying economics, can you believe, but was also mad on puppets as a kid. I didn't know that at the time. We were doing the show and we needed an extra helper, and he sort of volunteered. He was like standing backstage. I think he was, you know, doing any, you know, just being useful. And I got talking to him and I said, oh, you know, what have you done puppets? And he said, oh, yes. And he'd show me some pictures that he'd made of, funny enough, he was very influenced with, you know, the Dally Boys, the Pinky and Perky type. So he'd made like some characters with blinking eyes and, you know, the sort of very much the Pinky and Perky style puppets. Right. And anyway, to make a long story short, he joined the Little Angel Theatre for a while. I managed to get him a job there because I said to John Wright, who was the founder director at the time, I think this guy will be brilliant. And believe it or not, he gave up his economic degree he was studying for, and because there was an offering, John Wright offered him a place to, you know, join the company, and so he gave that because that's what he, you know, he really wanted to do puppets. And eventually he met his partner Ian, and the two of them did a program called, people might not remember, called Playboard on BBC, and it was again a puppet show. And John made the puppets. Ian, I think, probably wrote the stories. They were a great team together, and eventually they produced a stage show of Button Moon with Mr. Spoon and Mrs. Spoon and Egbert, you know. Oh yeah, and Egbert. That was sort of Ian's, you know, ideas, and he put them all together, and they did the stage version. And eventually they thought, well, you know, let's try it, see whether. And by that time, I think John had done a little bit on Rainbow. So did Ian, actually, in the early days. And so they made contacts. You know, once you've worked in a studios, you sort of think, oh, that producer's going to be doing that. Maybe I should, you know, chat them up a bit or something. Anyway, Ian and John sort of presented this idea, and they took it eventually, which was great. Hence, when they were making Button Moon, John was working on Rainbow as Zippy's puppeteer, because the original puppeteer was a lady called Violet Philpott. She did the first series, I think, bless her. And sadly, she did something to her back, you know, one of the discs or something went, and she was in great pain and she couldn't continue. John had known her like I did, and took over, jumped in the last minute to help. And he stayed there, and he also made the Zippy and George puppets. You know, the original Zippy was made by Violet, and it was quite a little bit different. If you look at the very first series, you can sort of see. But anyway, what happened was, John, once he did a bit of Rainbow, he then asked me, because he said, look, Ronnie, I've got these television projects I want to work on, and I need the time to make the puppets. I can't keep doing, because we were producing so many Rainbow programs. And so he just phoned me up, and that's how I got the job, through John. And then he you know, got Button Moon, although it had been a stage show, onto Thames, and the rest is history. And it became really popular. I can't remember how many programs they made. They made quite a few. 91 episodes. 91 episodes. There you go. And it was, you know, it's incredibly popular. And Ian, sadly, John died. It was really very sad. But Ian, his partner, still lives on, as it were. And he has set up the Button Moon Trust, which now he's used the name because it was his story, and they do lots of charity work. For instance, they'll, you know, he gets puppeteers to go into prisons who have got family, you know, who've got families or something, and the fathers never see their kids, and so they'll go in with a puppet or something like that, and the father might read a story for their kids, and they make a video of it too. In all those sort of things, it's very good, and the trust has been going for a few years, and it's really very worthwhile, and that's what Ian sort of does quite a lot now these days. But and I think Button Moon now is being shown on, now what's it called, ATV Plus, is it, or something? You know what, they've just bought you know, they've got the series going out on
Apple TV. There it is.
That's it, there you go. Yeah, that's it. So it started up again, which is nice, because I don't think they sort of age. It's lovely. Oh, look at that, sweet. I've just seen the Button Moon going over the moon. I've got a Button Moon somewhere. When I was married, they gave me a Button moon thing. It's very sweet. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, so there you are. That's the story of Button Moon, which is lovely. And there were several puppeteers who what's this? What was that? I didn't miss that.
Button Moon and Trapdoor were his favourites.
Oh right. Now what? I don't remember Trapdoor. You'll have to.
The plasticine one with damn, what's his name?
Ah, right. That's beginning to
trying to remember.
Get the old brain going again.
It. Big guy with a beard, booming voice.
Yeah.
But someone will tell me in a minute.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, everyone remembers Button Moon very fondly.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, because unfortunately, where is he? Where has it gone? Yes, I want to follow Mr. Spoon to Button Moon. Sex on his dummy.
Oh dear, I love it. Oh right. Okay,
yes.
Here we
Visually
go.
charming.
No, actually, you know who it was? It was, you know, the actor who played Doctor Who. Is it not Jim Davidson? Somebody Davidson.
Peter Davidson, I think.
Peter Davidson, and his then wife did the theme tune. Oh, there you are. Oh well, actually, Peter Davidson. He didn't narrate Button Moon. It was a lovely older guy who sadly died now, and I've forgotten his name. It'll come to me, but probably give him a credit there.
Oh, Sandra Dickinson. Oh,
Sandra Dickinson was
Robin
Peter Davidson's then wife, but then the narrator was Robin Parkinson. That's right. And he was the sweetest man, and he was like everybody's uncle. You know, this voice. So what's going on in Button Moon today? You know, it was very sweet. But it was lovely puppets, and just nice characters, and they did some lovely stories, you know, where they would you'd suddenly see what's going on in Button Moon Sky today or something, and you had to have the banana skins flying over or something. You know, all sort of daft things. And of course the Heinz baked bean tin was the rocket, you know.
Yes.
Walking pencils and resemble kids on. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Gosh, good memories everyone has. It's lovely.
Where are we? Last few, I think. Bodger and Badger, which I thought was a
Bodger and
later
Badger
show, but
not. That was a lovely guy. Sadly, the original guy is no longer with us. He got a sort of cancer thing, which was really sad. But that was a real going back to slapstick. They were quite crude sort of character looking, but and the guy that did it,
it was Andy Cunningham.
Andy Cunningham. That's it. Sorry, it's come back. There he is. And you can see there, you know, sort of Badger, and it's all this thing of mixing. So he just put the spoon in the mash. It was like Smash, you know. Quoting her, and you know, just splash it over people's faces and on his own face and stuff. It's quite a messy show, but that was what it was all about. These characters just sort of doing silly slapstick, basically, and there'd be various people joining in. You know, on the program, there we are. There's a whole lovely list of people there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it's now, funny enough, another guy has recently taken over Bodger and Badger, and he's got the old, you know, Bodger was a bit like that, wasn't he? I can't remember the sort of voice, and he does a really good impersonation. He's been doing some shows during like children's festivals, not so much on telly, but on, you know, live stuff, and he's really promoting it now, which is nice. And he had a new bodger made, and badger. I mean, there was the little, is it a mouse sort of friend of his, wasn't there? I think
something on his head there.
Oh, there you are, the one who's back there, that one, yeah. But anyway, that was they've been remade, but you know, exactly, they look identical, but they're just newer looking, because, you know, obviously over the years, you know, they look a bit as though they, you know, it's a bit like my Zippy. I've got an original Zippy, but he's really is showing his age, whereas I have the one, you know, sorry, I'm going to say it there for the book.
Hang on.
That was the one I had made.
There.
Oh my goodness, I'm full screen, ladies and gentlemen.
You're on it.
There you are. So that one, the publishers decided to use. I brought the original one, and they went, "Oh no, it's too grubby looking." I said, "Well, it was made in 1974 or something." Well, this one was made more recently, and but I can see why. You know, it's nice, new looking, and he looks identical to the Zippy that I used to use, and I love the idea of shoving his hand over my face. It's all about him. But yeah, no, it was a nice program, Bodger and Badger. I mean, it was as I say, it was very much slapstick, and again, a lot of young kids would love it, because somebody was being naughty again. You know, it's the whole sort of classic thing of, you know, what you're going to do today. You're making potatoes. Oh, lovely. Oh, charming. You know, you know, potato.
Yeah, so protected the badger with something to get the match up easily.
That's it. But he's still going strong. Oh, you're too kind, Ian Grant.
Very true.
You're very kind.
Good to see him in widescreen. Yeah, we'll see him bigger in a minute.
Oh,
at the end.
This is terrible. I'm near my router on my computer, so it's not very good lighting in my room here. So it's all from one side. So I've got 5 o'clock shadow on this side. Oh, storyteller. Well, you know, we are getting to really classic things. This was a wonderful series that Jim Henson Company made, and they were just amazing. The lovely actor who was the storyteller, who's sadly no longer with us now. And, such a brilliant actor. And again, Brian Henson did the dog, you know, with just for the beginning of the. Oh, what's your name? I've forgotten his name, and he was so good. He did The Naked Civil Servant years ago.
Oh, John Hurt.
John Hurt, lovely John Hurt. You wouldn't recognise him with all the wonderful aesthetic sort of, you know, stuff. But what a brilliant series! Oh my goodness! I mean, it was all these wonderful classic sort of fairy tales, but done beautifully. The production techniques on that. I think you may still be able to get them on DVD. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but, I think
you never see the light of day.
Yeah, but it was lovely, absolutely brilliant. Oh, here you are. There's some of the bits. Oh, there we are. Something there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there it is. A DVD.
There you go.
But
whether or not there's
tiny pictures. Michael Gambon took over, apparently.
Oh, yes, he did. A lovely man, Michael Gambon. Yeah. No, again, no longer with us. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. That's right. Gosh, I've forgotten that. Yes, I remember the John Hurt ones.
Yeah, I remember the John Hurt one. I don't remember the Gambon ones.
I think they must I think maybe they just did a few more parts or something. But they were lovely. The production values on those series was just superb, absolutely wonderful, and got some wonderful people, you know, special effect people and all that working on it to get the puppets looking really exciting. Well, you know, again, you've got somebody like Jim Henson, who's sort of this wonderful sort of genius that somehow people follow him and, you know, want to work with him and learn. And, you know, he's got these visions for these wonderful stories and stuff. Oh, yes, The Soldier and Death. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
that was fabulous.
Very dark,
quite evil, monstery things, red things, and there were some amazing stories, great giants in them, and all sorts.
Bob Peck.
Yeah, lovely Bob Peck. Again, I worked with him in Birmingham. He was in it. Yeah, before he became quite a big, you know, well-known actor. He was one of the company in the acting company, as well as the puppet company when I was there. And lovely, absolutely. So sad that he died
he
so
was.
young. Oh, lovely.
Gabriel Adwell, bless him.
Yeah, they were great though.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Reece Dinsdale.
Oh yeah, some fabulous people they had.
Yeah, Brenda Blethyn.
Yeah, lovely.
But yeah, great.
Yeah, lots of fabulous stories. Yeah,
Actors.
yeah.
Jane Horrocks,
Wonderful.
Sean Bean, bloody hell. Alan Armstrong.
My. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Auntie Mignella. Created the series.
Yes, fabulous. Yeah. No, really good. Good stuff.
Hopefully it is on HD.
Yeah.
Pat
Oh,
Roach. Art Malik.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, here we go. I mean, again, you see, by the time that Storyteller was being made, I think a lot of actors just wanted to work with Jim Henson and be a part because they knew that the programs and everything were being sold worldwide. Yeah. And you know, there's not just the fact that the money side of it, but also the values, the production values were so good, and he was a lovely gentleman that sort of, you know, just encourage you to do your best all the time, because he was he was a workaholic, hence I'm sure that's why he passed so young, really. But that was his life, this whole thing of producing all these amazing programs and stuff. Lovely.
Yeah, amazing. What's this last page? Oh, who's this?
Oh, I don't know that.
Get him off.
Look at that. It's quite a good star rating.
Oh, look at that.
It must be quite good.
4.7. Yeah, it must be worth a read at least.
Yeah, worth a read. And there's pictures in it. You know, you get pictures, not just the read. You know, those who like pictures. You know,
yeah. If you need pictures,
nice color.
Zoom in again.
Oh, are you? Oh my goodness. Well, that's when I worked with another famous puppet company called Hogarth Puppets, and they produced Muffin the Mule, and that's me as a. Sorry, I'm going the wrong side here. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
there you are. There he is, over there, and that's Muffin sitting on my lap. I was backstage in their caravan shows. We used to do summer shows. Now I mentioned John Blundell. If I try and now he is that guy there. He happened to be visiting that day, and that's Anne Hogarth, who worked the original Muffin. Jan Bustle is that one there. Sorry, I'm not very good at holding these. And there's me holding the dragon because I was like, I want to hold a puppet. And the other guy sitting down on the floor is a brilliant puppeteer, Australian, called Richard Bradshaw. And he came over and he wanted to work with the famous Jan Bustle and Anne Hogarth. So he did. And we did, yeah, absolutely. And so we were like the stage managers for the show. They did most of the puppetry, but it was lovely. But anyway, there's loads of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, loads of rainbow stuff as well. There's Jeffrey. And there's me, you know, young me doing. Now you've got to buy the book, you know.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Don't take screenshots. Buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book. This is just a little teaser, a little spoiler for you.
In all good bookshops.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope.
If it isn't, it's not a good bookshop. But there we go. That's all I had on my list. Was if anyone else can think of any others, because Jordan's saying Thomas the Tank Engine and Pugs, but do they count as puppets, or they were remote controlled? But
they were. I mean, they were more your stop frame type puppets. You know, that thing of taking one picture and then moving. But they in fact they were like model shots in a way. They chugged along, and they had little smoke pellets for the. For the smoke to come. But they were charming. I think they were lovely. Again, based on a classic children's book. The Reverend, whatever his name was.
Yeah, I know it's a reference. That's as far as I get.
Yeah, that's all I can remember. Sorry, but and they were lovely character. I think there was two narrators. I know one of them was the Beatle. What's his name? The drummer,
Thomas.
And they did. And then there was the lovely
Ringo.
Northern. Ringo Starr did it, and then. The original one was the guy who sadly recently died, who was also a brilliant children's author, and he worked a lot on animation. Oh,
yeah, and I can't think of him now.
Anyway, he narrated stuff. He was lovely, really very good. Tell you what, she's very sad. Just while I'm talking about sadness, was David Graham. Now, you might not know that name, but he was famous for doing lots of the voices for the Jerry Anderson series, and he was an absolute charmer. And he did Parker, he did loads of the Stingray characters, and a wonderful guy. And he was so, humble, really, and yet, and you wouldn't know his face. He did live for a good old age. He lived till 99, so
yes,
a long, lovely long life. But he was an absolute charm. I met him at a television sort of, I think it was an exhibition of children's work, and he was there. And I remember saying, and it was like, I'm meeting one of my idols, this wonderful man. And I said, David, could I just say how much I grew up with your wonderful voices and all the Jerry Anderson stuff. And he said, yes, but you did Rainbow, didn't you? And I thought, oh my God, no, it's not the same. Anyway, charming, really lovely man.
Nice. Because I did think of one, like we were talking about, Anderson program, Terrorhawks.
Oh yes.
I don't know, is that was puppetry?
Oh no, it's definitely puppetry. It was a different form. I mean, they went away from the marionettes.
Right.
They did sort of rod figures, and you can see them there. They had sort of rubber latex sort of heads. I don't know how many of them exist now, because the latex seems to go all a bit peculiar. And they got blinking eyes and mouth movement. The puppeteers were in a pit doing them and stuff like that. But no, I think it was fairly successful. I worked see the witch there, that wonderful witch character.
Hang on, I missed that.
That's the sister of her. That's the one. I think that's the one. Zelda.
Yes,
that's right, Zelda. And I did it on a Children in Need video. They found some of these old puppets, and all right, can I work her? And so I did her just a few lines on the thing, but it was great to see her. She was great, lovely puppet. I think it was a remake of her, but it was looked fabulous, looked really good. Oh, there you are. There's the group of puppeteers. There's Christine Glanville there, and Judy Priest, I think. Oh, I hope I've got your name right, Judy. Sorry. And that's lovely. Jan King, who's working one of the puppets there, and I can't remember her name, which is very bad. But that's Christine there. She worked a lot on Jerry Anderson early days as well. She was brilliant. But yeah. Oh, lovely. Terrorhawks. Yes. I mean, again, you had, I think, Barry Gray's music. Again, he did get these brilliant people, and Barry Gray did most of the music for I hope he did music by. No, it wasn't Barry Gray on that one. Oh yeah, I got that wrong.
It is the internet, so it's not 100%.
No. Oh yeah. Well, that's true. But I think maybe he didn't. But the music was a very strong it was a big content of the thing to make the atmosphere and everything. Yes. And Barry Gray was brilliant. I mean, he did your Thunderbirds, your Stingrays, your Fable XL5s, all those wonderful science ones. And I know I've been lucky enough to be involved in a children's orchestra concert where they wanted puppets, and they'd play, and with an orchestra it's wonderful. You get the whole Thunderbirds theme going on, with all 40-50 piece orchestra or something. It's fabulous. And then if it's a children's concert, they all put the Thunderbirds caps on, and it was lovely. It was
nice.
That was the Liverpool Philharmonic, and then I did it with the Glasgow Philharmonic or something. There was one guy who used to run these children's concerts and thought puppets would be great to be a part of it, and I loved doing that. It was a few years ago now, but really nice.
Nice. Well, that's my list for tonight, and
wonderful.
Taken up far too much of your time, but thank you for joining me.
Not at all. It's been lovely. It's really been fun, and thank you everybody who's been patient listening to me wittering on. It's been lovely. It's been really nice.
If you want to hear him wittering more,
thank you.
So we'll let everyone say goodbye, like Ian.
Oh, thank you, Ian. Oh, you're very kind.
And David says thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much.
There is a delay with these.
Chats.
See, yeah.
Oh yes. Good night. Yes. Thank you.
Good night,
thanks,
everyone.
Gareth.
Night, Ronnie.
Oh, you're all very kind. Gosh.
Yes, go buy his book.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian. If you do the plug, it's better than me because it's a little bit too
It is.
much. Isn't it? Oh, I've got it upside down. You know.
Well, it brings more attention if it's upside down. People.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
Right. Well, we'll say goodnight and thanks again, Ronnie, for joining us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I'm sorry I was a little bit late, but
No, that was fine.
you know, but thanks
It was-
for a reminder to.
It was necessary.
Yeah,
As
it
a
was.
surprise.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everyone. And one last one. Cheers. And
Oh, thanks.
see
Thank
you
you
next
very much.
time.